December 2018, Ethiopia. In your mind is a land of hunger, danger, and famine. The unrested land with the starving kids screaming for help. Skinny limbs contrast with the big belly. So you may ask, why are you going? Question, rather I'm going to offer my helping hand, coming from the bastard land. In fact, I'm off to explore this country as a receiver. An incredible adventure with a combo of history, nature, and culture. With Ethiopian Airlines, you can get there in 10 hours. Direct flight from Hong Kong to the capital Addis Ababa. The first mission after I arrived is to transfer to a domestic flight to Bahir Dar, and the flight was delayed. But for the first time in history, I'm very happy about the delay, as I got the chance to meet my flight buddy sitting right next to me, called Yabeka. In English, it means enough. A local Ethiopian guy who is super friendly and happy to share the local traditional music and dance videos with me on our journey. But more, he gave me a lesson of survival at Amharic, which is the major spoken language in Ethiopia. His helping hands doesn't stop there. After we arrived, he tried to help me get a SIM card, exchange currency, and he's so kind to offer me a ride to the hostel and make sure that I meet my friend there. He truly kicked off my Ethiopia journey in the best possible way.
Maybe can I take your picture? No. Hello, everybody. Give me a free ride. Thank you.
Let's start with the historical site, the Palace and Castle of Gonda. If you're a student, make sure you bring your international student card for discount entrance. The Great Stele in Aksum. Moving on, it's time to appreciate the beauty of our Mother Nature. Off we go an inclusive 4-day, 3-night Seaman Mountain trekking tour, where you get to enjoy the spectacular landscape and say hi to the Ethiopian wolf and the gelada monkeys. Fortunately, we didn't see any ibex. In this tour, we were accompanied by a tour guide and an armed scout who hiked with us the whole time wearing a pair of plastic sandals. In this tour, we reached the third highest mountain in Ethiopia, the summit of Mount Bahit, with an altitude of nearly 4,440 meters. Along the hiking trail, there were villagers living nearby the Seaman National Park, trying to sell drinks like the well-known Coca-Cola and beer or other kind of handicraft on the hiking trail waiting for us. In the tour, we just need to carry all our essentials with us. Other belongings will be transported by the donkeys. They also provided the tents and sleeping bag for us to sleep at night. Moving around Ethiopia can be quite complicated. Going to different cities, you can either take domestic flight or the local bus. I took the bus from Debark to Aksum, and it took 9 hours in the bus. And buying the bus ticket can be quite difficult due to the language barrier, and it's very common for you to pay more than the original price. Compare the bus and the flight, I would say you get to see more on a bus, even though it takes much longer. You paid less and experienced more. And the really rough bus ride is what they call the Ethiopian massage. Only if you survive, survive, survive. So what do people eat in Ethiopia? Now let me introduce you to the national dish, injera, a sourdough bread, or you may call a pancake. Lonely Planets describe it as just like your first kiss. Most first impressions of injera are not too positive. It's an overwhelmingly sour taste. All I can say is don't be afraid and do give it a shot if you get a chance to visit this beautiful country. Well, my body can't really digest this food, but yours might just be fine. All you need is your right hand as your spoon. Make sure it's right hand, okay? As a national dish, the local people eat injera 3 meals a day with veggies, meat, or sheros, which is a chippy sauce you see in the video. Fun fact, coffee was first discovered in Ethiopia. Therefore, coffee drinking is very important, and they have a whole ceremony for it. First, they roast the raw coffee beans over the incense fire. Then they walk around and let the guests smell the smoke of the coffee beans. Then they will pour water into a special boiling clay pot known as the jabetna. Then you can drink it with a burning incense, which is a wood from the coffee tree. This might be the best coffee I've ever had, and it only costs 10 cents to 35 cents US dollar. Here comes the favorite part of my trip, church visiting in Tigray. The Abune Yamate Church and Maya Koko. These churches are hiding up in the hill, so you're given the choice to climb or not to climb. And they both claim to have over 1,500 years of history. And yes, I can't believe I just said church visiting was my favorite. Part of me just wished that I'm more ready for it. I mean, both physically and mentally. A massive thank you to my travel buddy who organized the visit and encouraged me to go all the way up there to see these beautiful churches hiding up in the mountain. Definitely won't be able to do it alone. Next is another organized tour, Danakil Depression. 3-night, 2-day tour in the Afar region, known as the hottest place on earth, with an active volcano and a very remote area. Organized tour is the only option for you to go visit this place, and there are a lot of myths about Afar people, which is the local people living in the region. It's definitely safe to go as a tour, but remember to be respectful to the local people, cause I guess no one want hundreds of tourists coming into the neighborhood every single month. This is the place where we'll sleep for the night, and the toilet is anywhere around it, no matter what your need is. How big? How small? Salt Flat and Saltwater Lake. In this region, you can see salt miners cutting lumps of salt and load them on the camel to bring them across the desert with a camel caravan. Here you can step foot on the colorful Dalaf Safa. The final stop of the tour is to visit the active volcano Altar Ale, one of the only 6 lava lakes on Earth. Unfortunately, due to the blowing wind, we can't see the lava. But I learned a lesson. As the tour guide said to us in the beginning of the tour, the only difference between me and you is that I don't complain about nature. So, let nature play by own rule. 80% of the country production is still based on agriculture, but you can definitely see industrial development in the capital, Addis Ababa. They just built a light rail in the year of 2015, a 17 kilometers running light rail across the city. We took 4 stops and it cost 2 birr, which is around 5 cents in US dollar, and is super crowded during rush hour, and no liquid can be bought on the train. There are military guiding at the station, so pictures of this kind of infrastructures are not very welcome. Welcome to the most touristy spot in Ethiopia, which is also my least favorite city, Lalibela. The location of the city is stunning, and most of us go there because of a famous church. However, the entrance fee to these churches is actually $50 US. But the good news is, you can use it for 5 days, so congrats if you really like churches. These churches are impressive from the fact that they were crafted from a solid stone. However, it's sort of lacking the spiritual element, maybe due to the amount of tourists. And in the city, there are many local guys who try to approach you and sell you a tour. Our final destination is to go down south to Upper Minch. It's a hotter area, so we became more conscious about malaria. The place we stay is a Somo Lodge, a traditional housing with these incredible views of the national park. There are numbers of options to visit the Nachisha National Park. Local tour company charge you $200 for 2 people with a half-day tour to the park with a 4x4. We chose the alternative. We just walk into the park by paying the entrance and an armed scout for 2 hours. It's compulsory to have an armed scout with you when you go into the national park. We saw 3 kinds of monkeys along the way and very cool tree. Ethiopia is a religious country. Majority of the population believe in Christian Orthodox, and that day they were having a big celebration for St. Gabriel at St. Gabriel Church. So we decided to just join them. Male and female enter the church through a different side of the door, and female are required to wear a headscarf. While I was struggling to find something to cover my hair so I can enter the church, a local Ethiopian guy was so kind that he offered his extra headscarf for me and asked nothing for return. Moving on, we visit the nearby village, the Dorsey village, where banana tree doesn't grow banana. Instead, they use the leaf to make kocha kita, which is a bread that can be eaten with honey or spicy sauce. So now she's making it for us. And there will be a separate video if you want the whole making process of kocha kita. After the food, it's time to get some drink. Enjoy the local made extremely strong liquor. Percentage remain unknown. We also visited the Consul village where the kids were very curious about us. Even though in our eyes, they seem to have nothing. But in theirs, there is nothing lacking. In Ethiopia, kids chase after tourists, saying, you, pan, pan, pan. The request for pan is actually marked as a reminder in the travel blog that I read, reminding tourists to bring pan with them. However, I did not, as there seems to be consequence in every single action, and the request can be as wide as from pan to money to biscuits to chocolate. During my visit in Ethiopia, I'm a receiver of kindness, receiver of hospitality, and receiver of reality. Don't judge this place by its name. Media reports with a clear aim. Famine, hunger, and danger. These are highly irrelevant. We just blinded by our ignorance.